There's a moment in every surgeon's career where you realize something unsettling. You're starting to feel disconnected from your own patients. Not because you don't care, but because the system won't let you connect. I'm Dr. Tyler Goldberg, founder of NAOCA. And today I'm talking about one of the most painful realities in orthopedic surgery. How the way we practice slowly pulls us away from the people we actually want to serve. When you chose orthopedics, you weren't choosing transactions. You weren't necessarily choosing volume. You weren't choosing throughput. You chose a field where you could watch someone go from being trapped in their own body to having their entire life open back up again. That connection was fuel for you. The relationship, the story, the transformation, all intoxicating for us to be as surgeons and participate in that, for the patients to go through that transformation. Somewhere along the line, the system buried it, took it away from us. That disconnection doesn't happen all at once. It happens gradually. It happens gradually by looking at us like overbooked clinics, 5-minute visits, rushing room to never-ending room. Barely having time to sit down and breathe throughout the entire day. You know this, manager time, bang, bang, bang. Your EMR is swallowing the human interaction that you need. You find yourself thinking more about the documentation than the person in the chair sitting across from you. You feel pressured to keep moving instead of staying present with somebody. It might sound something like this. I wish I had more time for this conversation, but I gotta go. Tell me yes or tell me no, but tell me now, I gotta go. I know a surgeon that walks into a room with a stopwatch in his pocket. He sets that for a certain amount of time, and when it starts vibrating, boom, he's up and out the door. Machine-like presence. I want to really listen, but I'm already behind. And gradually, what do? You stop connecting. Not because you don't want to, but because the structure makes genuine connection between you and a patient impossible. This is the part that surgeons rarely, if ever, talk about. You start to feel guilty on the inside. Guilty because you care. How about that? You actually care. And you know you're not giving patients the attention that they deserve. If you were in their shoes, you would want more from you too. You feel guilty because you're rushing people who waited weeks or months to see you. You feel guilty because you know your best work happens when you have time, and you don't have any time in this model. Guilty because your identity as a surgeon includes presence, but your schedule only allows for production. This guilt, it builds up quietly and it hurts. It's hurt me really bad in the past. So here's a painful twist. Patients misinterpret your disconnection. Okay? They might misinterpret it. They're gonna think, he didn't listen. What is the number one complaint patients have when dealing with surgeons? They don't listen to us. They might think, she seemed really rushed in that visit. They might think, I didn't feel understood, or I felt like I wasn't a priority to them. Not because you don't care. You can care, but because the model forces you to act in ways that contradict who you actually are. This is the deepest source of surgeon dissatisfaction, when your behavior no longer reflects your intentions. That's an internal mismatch. That's what destroys the joy of practicing medicine. The power of Concierge Orthopedics is simple. It gives you the time and the margin to reconnect with the human being seated right in front of you. Here's what changes with it. Number one, longer visits. You can actually listen to the patient talking. How about that? Number two, real pre-op conversations. They're not just rush exclamations where you go in on robot mode and do your thing. You have a real conversation. Number three, text-based access. Patients will feel supported and not lost, not just one of the production. How about 4, post-op follow-through. You show up for them and it really matters. 5, true partnership. They choose you, not the system built around you. 6, margin for empathy. You have space to actually care again. How about that? Wouldn't that be great? When you create a model that respects your time and your craft, you naturally reconnect with your patients. It's happened to me over and over and over again. That reconnection, more than anything, will restore the joy there is in surgery. And that's why NAOCA exists. If you felt yourself disconnecting from patients, not because you want to, but because the system forces you to, you're not broken. It's a broken model. I'm Tyler Goldberg. Email me at founder@orthopedic-concierge.com. Tell me where you felt the disconnect, one surgeon to another.